Alright guys, welcome to our first inaugural podcast. We had done this before, some technical difficulties kind of, shit the bed, so we didn't get it out. I kind of got busy with school and stuff, Josh got busy doing stuff, Andrew was doing stuff, so finally, we're getting back together, we're getting the crew back together doing another podcast. We have a decent, probably chaotic show in store for you guys today. But, it's only going to be like 4 people listening at the end of the day, so what's it matter, So, let's start off. I'm Heath. If you're listening to this podcast, chances are you know me. You've heard this luscious voice before, and that's what brought you to the podcast. I thank you for listening, and I will try not to disappoint you like I do in the bedroom, but hey, can't leave anything out of the question. Alright, then we got my wingman over here, Andrew, who's going to be doing it with me. Andrew.
Yeah, I'm going to drop some knowledge on you bitches about some random stuff. And that's basically all I can guarantee.
That was beautiful.
Thanks, Josh.
And we got Josh over here. This is his first time doing the podcast with us. He replaced our former third member, and hopefully brings a little bit more to the table than I think he will. But what do you got to say, Josh?
I think it's definitely going to be an improvement.
No, I was talking about you're bringing more to the table than I think, so I'm basically saying I have lowered expectations for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Alright, so you're going to improve upon my lowered expectations. Alright, so let's get into it, guys. The new consoles are coming out. PS4 is coming out on the 19th. We're only 17 days away. Xbox One's coming out on Black Friday. I personally am not planning on getting either one of the consoles for at least a year until they come out. All the titles, I have a preliminary list of the titles coming out on release day. None of them are really impressive, and all the games that I want to play, like Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Battlefield 4, are already out on the Xbox 360. So they didn't really do a good job as far as releasing the games come out, and I gotta say, throughout the history, Nintendo has done a really good job, in my opinion, of releasing games that people want for their system right off the bat. There's always seems to be a Mario game, a Zelda game, something like that, and then there's always a Smash around the corner, and Smash is usually a game, if you like Nintendo, you buy it when it comes out, it stays in your collection until either the new Nintendo comes out, or you just get tired of getting your ass whomped like Josh does, and you trade it in.
At a point, that never happens.
But I like the fact that we got, just in the room, we kind of got a little differing of opinions here, because Josh is going to go out and buy both new systems the month they come out. So he will have both systems by November 25th, the 24th when the Xbox comes out.
PS4 comes out on the 15th. Xbox comes out on the 22nd.
Okay, he's going to have both consoles by the 22nd. So he will not be doing anything with the PS4 for like 3 months. He'll just be sitting there. And then the Xbox
when Infamous comes out, I will totally be all about it.
I hope it gets pushed back. Anyways, Andrew, what are your thoughts on the new consoles coming out?
Well, unlike Moneybags over here, I'm not going to be buying either console for at least a year. And then when I do, it'll probably be the Xbox One. But the best thing, I think the most positive thing for both systems is the fact that there hasn't been a new system for like 5 or 6 years. And people are like ready to get a new system, new piece of hardware. But in my opinion, none of the titles are that great that we haven't seen already. So people are just going to buy the new hardware because it's an upgrade, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with you. Like I said, I'm gonna probably do a little bit more research when the consoles come out. I have no idea which one I want to go with, Xbox One or PS4. I'll probably go with whichever one my friends go with, because let's be honest, the reason that I don't have a PlayStation 3 right now is because no one else had a PlayStation 3 that I was hanging out with. So I went with Xbox. But I want to hear Josh's opinion over here, because he's the guy going to be buying the systems. He's the one differing in the room. I want to hear his reasoning for this, and maybe he can try to sway me over to buying a system. He'll fail, but he's got a chance. Josh, what do you got?
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to fail at trying to convince you to buy one, but yeah, you're right. At launch, really nothing that's all that impressive. All the games that are actually good, you're going to be able to get on the systems you already have. Like, will they be like slightly inferior? Yeah, but slightly. I was like, they're basically just not going to look as pretty. What really got me excited is the new games that they're coming out with that won't be at launch. So basically, I'm just trying to get my systems while I can before it gets really hard to find them.
Now, see, I would agree if this was like 1994, but I feel like the systems are going to be readily available. Like, I feel like they won't maybe not be readily available for Christmas, but when Infamous comes out, I feel like PS4 will be there. Like, you'll be able to go to Best Buy and be like, I want the PS4 and I want Infamous. It'll be there. It's not going to be like when the Wii came here and Nintendo deliberately sent short shipments to make people clamor for them more. I don't think that's going to happen, especially with the launch the way it is. Like, I think you'll have the hardcore gamers going out and buying it, and maybe some parents will buy it for their kids. But honestly, I don't think casual gamers like me and Andrew or a lot of other guys are saying, wow, these systems, I'm not going to get one of these unless I get them at launch. And none of the titles, like NBA Live 14. NBA Live is not released in like 4 years. And when they've released demos, it's been terrible. I don't know if you guys ever saw the video. You guys probably didn't because I'm more the basketball game guy, especially in this room. But there was when they did the demo for, 2012, maybe 2013, whichever, they were going to release it. It was going to be Kevin Durant on the cover. It was going to be NBA Elite. NBA Elite. There was a glitch in the demo that basically one dude stood in the middle of the court. Looked like he was crucified and just stood there in the middle of the court like that. And there's YouTube videos of it. It's ridiculous. There's so many glitches with the game. That's why I haven't seen it in a while. And I thought it was dumb, and I know I've talked to you guys casually about it. For NBA Live, EA Sports, one of the biggest companies in gaming, instead of releasing NBA Live for the 360, they put all their eggs in the next gen. So they don't even know. They're just going right to the next gen. Their sales are going to suffer. 2K's coming out for the next gen too. Which person in their right mind that likes playing basketball games is going to go, well, shit, there hasn't been an NBA Live game in 4 years. Fuck you, 2K. I don't care if you've revolutionized everything. You know, 2K even moved LeBron's headband back on his forehead, make it more realistic. 2K is sick, and NBA Live is just saying, you know what? Fuck everybody. Next gen. I want to see the sales. The sales are going to suck for NBA Live regardless, but especially since they're only going for next gen. And the only game on this list that's exclusive to the new systems that I'm even remotely interested in right now is Rise Son of Rome. Yeah. That game looks pretty badass, but I also get hard-ons for, like, ancient Rome and stuff. Like, not hard-ons for, like, weird fetish porn, but, like, actually, like, hearing about it in history class and stuff. And then there's Forza 5, but, I mean, I just play Forza 4.
Get the same effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I really don't play racing games. Rise has me a little interested because, like you, I do like that time period, but there's just so little out on the game right now to be like, well, this is cool. I was like, I need to see a lot more of it before I pull the trigger on that.
All the games that I'm interested in that are coming up are for the 360 still, like Dragon Age 3, and then Stick of Truth.
You know they pushed Stick of Truth back, right?
Yeah, Josh, I got that, and I didn't open it up because I don't like links on the phone.
I did the same thing. I read the headline, and I was like, well, fuck you, Josh. Text message.
That's exactly what I did.
Well, I can't say the same about you about all the games I want being on 360. I was like, because there's a lot of games I want coming out on the next gen, but none of them are at launch.
And then Dark Souls 2, I believe that's for 360 too, right?
That's a good question. I don't really know. I was like, because I really wasn't into the first one.
Okay.
That was more of a you and Thomas game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to beat the fuck out of that game.
I did, but I moved on, played a different game.
Really? You never beat that?
No, I lost interest.
Oh, okay.
He gave up. It was too hard.
It's a pretty hard game.
It is.
But I could have beaten it.
So, I think, just to finally finish up touching upon this, I was trying to find the release date for Dark Souls 2. I couldn't find it. It told me enter a birth date. I was on the site. It entered my birth date. It asked me if I wanted to pre-order, but it didn't tell me anything about it. So, we don't know when that's coming out, but it'll be badass. Everyone knows it. I mean, if you played the first one, chances are you're going to like the second one. If you got through the first one, chances are you probably thought about slitting your wrists about 8 times.
It's pretty difficult.
That's why you never beat it.
Josh never even played it.
Yeah, never really did play it. Played Ninja Gaiden, I have to imagine that's pretty fucking frustrating.
Don't ever bring that game up. I've never played it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not allowed to talk about that. Because I've never played it. So.
Well, fuck you and everything you stand for. That's all I can say.
Well, now that you guys completely derailed that conversation,
let's segue into sports.
Yeah, sure. Another thing that's pissing me off right now is Ray Emery last night in the Caps game. We're up 7-0, and Joel Lord gets the hat trick. And what does Ray Emery do? He charges down the ice and tries to fight Braden Holtby. What does Holtby do? No, I don't want no part of that. I don't like to fight. I got a shutout right now. It's 7-0. So Ray Emery proceeds to start whooping his ass, and the refs allow it.
Yeah.
And then the other players on the Caps like skate over like, what the fuck's going on here? And they're just looking, and the refs are like, hey, whoa, back up, Tom Wilson. Hey, whoa, let him settle it. And then the Flyers just go, well, fuck it. We're going to fight you guys too. And then a whole brawl starts off. Emery's just punching Holtby in the back of the head. He goes to the ground. Emery just keeps punching him in the back of the head. It was despicable. I mean, I don't know how the league can look at this game and say, first off, the Flyers are a competent hockey team. Let's be honest, they're not. That's why they're getting to a brawl down 7-0. And there's no way that Emery cannot get suspended for this. I mean, it's one thing if the goalie charges down, the other goalie says, all right, let's go. But Holtby never wanted to fight. And even when he's getting pummeled, he did not want to fight. He swung like twice, and I think it was just because he thought he was going to die.
Yeah. I feel like game misconducts should instantly be, you miss the next game. And if it's any worse, then they can decide that later. But I don't see why, just because you're losing 7-0, why has it become the other team has to start fighting. The Caps, I watched when Brouwer scored his goal. They didn't really celebrate. They were like, okay, we're winning like 5-0 or 6-0 now. There's no reason to keep celebrating. The Caps were being classy about it. Yeah, and then Ray Emery was just being a bitch.
Yeah, because they even brought that up during the announcement. They're like, yeah, he doesn't really celebrate, just kind of daps everybody up and goes on about his business. I was like, the part that pissed me off the most about is like the way the refs handled it. It's like, you know, like he didn't want to fight. I was like, normally when it's a one-sided fight like that, they break it up immediately. Or like when the one person just isn't trying to fight, like the guy throws a few punches, they break it up. No, but you deliberately saw the ref put his hand out, hold everybody else back from coming in, and just let him pummel him in the back of the head like that. It's just like, what the hell were you thinking? Like everyone talks about how Ray Emery needs to be suspended, and I agree, he does. But you guys suspend those refs too for not doing their fucking job.
Yeah, they definitely need to be disciplined as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that really gets me is punching people in the back of the head is illegal in MMA. In that sport is you just beat the shit out of people. So why is the ref letting a fucking goalie pummel Braden Holtby in the back of the head? The thing that really needs to happen, and if Holtby gets a concussion from this, and we've seen it in the sport before, people get concussions through fights. I mean, when you're getting punched in the head, ask Muhammad Ali, things tend to get messed up. Okay? So if Holtby gets a concussion, let's say he misses a significant amount of time. I don't think he's as big a pussy as Sidney Crosby is, and he'll miss like 2 seasons. But let's say he misses a significant amount of time. I think they should suspend Emery for the rest of the season. If Holtby gets a concussion and misses a significant amount of time, they need to get rid of him for the whole season. And let's be honest, the Flyers can't get too much worse than the goaltending anyways. I mean, they got Mason and Emery.
What are they, 3-9 now?
Yeah, 3-9. They're at the bottom of the conference.
It's actually a good thing you brought up the concussion part. I was like, because earlier in the game, who was it, Downey and Wilson they were fighting? I was like, Downey actually went to the hospital after that for a concussion. I was like, but when you see the fight, like, you can see them talking to each other, asking him to stop because he's hurt. What does Tom Wilson do? He fucking stops.
And that's how it should be. I mean, every time there's a hockey fight, okay, a couple times, let's be honest, there's bad blood between the guys, and they go at each other. But generally, in a hockey fight, the guys are generally friends. I mean, most athletes on sports teams, they know they're just doing it to make a living. And a lot of times, hockey guys fight just to give the team a spark.
Yeah, it's usually like you show up and you're like, hey man, you trying to go? And they're like, yeah. And then like as soon as the puck drops, it's like, bam, you start fighting. It's set up like that.
I wish picking up chicks in the bar was the easiest hockey fights. Hey, you want to go? Yeah, let's do this. And bam, you know, you start pounding away. But sadly, life is not that easy.
Start taming that sweet strange right there.
Taming that sweet strange. God, I cannot wait for the Love Advice with Andrew later in the show. That's going to be great. But anyways, yeah, like I said, Emery should be suspended. I think we all agree here that the Caps really didn't do anything. I missed part of the game. I don't know when Wilson and Downey fought. I missed that one. I was doing homework and stuff, you know, and like adult stuff. Kind of sucks. But it was just classless. I haven't seen ESPN at all today to see what the guys like Barry Mose or anybody saying about it. But I can't believe anybody except maybe Skip Bayless will defend it, because all that guy seems to do is just jump on the different side of the argument. and just basically piss everyone off. So if there's a guy like that, they'll do it. That's about it.
It's just Philly being Philly.
Yeah. They'll basically Nancy Grace it, just piss everyone off, just to get the ratings, and that's basically what First Take and them do. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really much else that can be said about it. It just didn't really have its need. I did see a couple comments on videos and articles last night of people saying, I wish hockey would get back to the way it used to be, with men being men and not all this pussy not fighting stuff. Need to change the rules back. Yeah, that's why. Because the sport went on strike twice and almost, died after the first strike. But, you know what, let's go back to just crushing people and killing everyone. Because clearly NFL knows that's how you make your money. But I think now that we did that, I brought the NFL. Let's segue to the NFL. There's a lot more going on. That's more what I get into. Football is my shit. That Thursday night game, Andrew. I know you probably watched some of it. You had some fantasy implications going on there. A guy in my history class was actually streaming on his laptop, so I had trouble concentrating near the end of class. Andy Dalton, that guy is so fucking hit or miss.
Yeah, he just made some bad throws. He missed. It wasn't a terrible decision, but when he threw that pick six, it was behind the guy, and that was not a bad decision, just a bad throw. But I really felt like Miami was going to lose that game. When they tied it up at 17-7, I was like, well, Miami's going to shit this one away again.
And they almost did. I mean, you got to give credit to Tannehill and Hartline on that last drive. That catch by Hartline was ridiculous. To get both feet down and allow that kick to go through. And Giovanni Bernard for the Bengals. I think the Bengals would have not had to kick that field goal if he had been on the field for that drive. If he hadn't gotten hurt after that big, 35-yarder that he actually ran 100 yards on, he probably would have got the touchdown, and the Bengals would have done something a little bit more.
Yeah, kind of wishing I got him in fantasy and not Doug Martin. But that's all right.
Oh, well, I mean, maybe you could package Doug Martin and David Wilson, two guys you drafted, to try to trade for Giovanni Bernard.
I doubt that'll happen.
I'm hoping festering wounds, Josh. He's bitter about the guys he drafted.
Oh, I'm in sixth place. If the playoffs started now, I'd be there.
Sixth place because 3 teams don't do their rosters every week.
Playoffs. I'm in the playoffs. That's all I can say. I don't know.
And then we got the other games coming up this week. Big week for you guys. You get to play the Jay Cutlerless Bears on Monday night. I don't think anyone in their right mind is taking the Bears over you guys, even with your receiver injuries. I mean, Boykins jumped in and you guys missed Randall Cobb, but that offense doesn't really look like they're missing a beat. Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and Boykins showing that he can hang. Jordy Nelson just getting all the touchdowns.
It's helping my fantasy team. But I'm really expecting us to beat them when we should beat them. With our Eddie Lacy coming on, he could easily be the Rookie of the Year if he keeps it up. And then, no Jay Cutler. So that's why, I got that Packers defense starting this week.
If you could see him, he's sitting here, championing his arms in the air like he just knocked out Joe Frazier because he's got the Packers defense. When, honestly, actually, it hurts me to say this. McNown's not that bad, or maybe our defense is just that. I'm a Redskins fan. McNown put up 41 on us. It was bad, and I hope he does to the Packers. I hope the Bears bring on some read option, and McNown looks like Colin Kaepernick in the playoff game, and Clay Matthews standing on the sidelines like, God damn it, I still don't know how to stop it.
Hey, Clay's going to be back eventually with a club. Maybe sooner than later. Got those pins out, he can wear the club now.
You think he's hanging out with Brian Cushing and Ray Malaluga? Since Malaluga and Cushing have huge injuries, they get the USC boys back together. They're just hanging out.
Yeah, they're probably all just throwing it up. Listening to some Jack Johnson and stuff.
they're probably in a room with a pool table. It's got Clay Matthews' fat heads all around the walls, and they're just trying to rehab their injuries. Matt Leinart calls, and they just ignore his phone calls.
Matt Leinart sucks.
Well, that was an astute observation, Andrew. I don't know where you got your insight, but god damn it, we couldn't go on without it. Other game I kind of want to get into, but don't want to get into, is the Redskins game with the Chargers. I have no idea how this is going to play out. The Chargers have an offense that could go for 50 on us, but then our defense shut down Peyton Manning for a half, and the offense just couldn't do anything. So I'm not sure. And then I got like half my team is San Diego Charger players in fantasy, so I'm very conflicted on what to do here. But
yeah, I have Eddie Royal in this, bad week of bye weeks for me. Don't know if I'm gonna start him. Him or Zach Stacey. I don't know. But I just feel like as a Redskins fan, you should just be like, well, I hope RG3 plays good this week. Just be rooting for him to play good. Because your defense has been having a lot of problems.
Is he even back this week? I thought he got injured last week.
he got like a slight knee injury thing, but I think it was more they were like, all right, dude, this game's out of hand. There's no way we're coming back. Kirk go out there and just do stuff, and Kirk Cousins was like, all right, I'm going to do stuff, coach. And then the Broncos were like, we love pick sixes. And
And that's what happened, Josh.
honestly, it was probably the best thing for the team, though, because, God, could you deal with Kirk Cousins comes in and scores a touchdown for the Redskins offense with RG3 on the bench. And then everyone called in, I think we should start Kirk Cousins, because that damn RG3 is too dark and his hair is too nappy to be starting a quarterback. We need a good old-fashioned drop-back white passer in there. And it is so ridiculous, the shit you hear, man. Like, I remember when we drafted RG3 and then we drafted Kirk Cousins, they were like, well, clearly Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback. Just look at that pigment. It's stupid. I mean, RG3, what can you expect? He's a guy coming back from an ACL surgery. He didn't have time to warm up in the offseason. The receiving core is not that great. I hate to feel like I'm just making excuses for a guy that doesn't need excuses made for him. But there was no conceivable way that he was going to come back, have Adrian Peterson year.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson runs for 2,000 yards after ACL surgery because he's a god among men. And then what happens? This year he doesn't do so well, and people are like digging around on him like, he's got like 18 illegitimate kids. And then they're like, trade Adrian Peterson. The Vikings will never win. So the media just builds you up and tears you down. And RG3 did a lot of it to himself. All the offseason interviews, the commercials, the all-in for week one. I mean, if you watch a Redskins game, there's every commercial break. There's a commercial with RG3 in it. Generally it's Subway, but there's at least one commercial during the break. There's an RG3 commercial. I mean, he's popular, he's marketable. We haven't had that in DC in a while. It's nice to have it, but the scrutiny that comes along with it is ridiculous.
I like that, and the scrutiny actually kind of helps them, because as long as, I was like, whether they like him or they hate him, as long as they're talking about him, they're making money off of it.
Yeah, but now you're making him sound like a Kardashian. And that's not what in football, you don't want to be talked about all the time, bad or good. You want to be talked about in a good sense. And, I mean, Andrew knows this more than anything because one of his favorite players of all time, Brett Favre, went through this more than anybody. Brett Favre was one of the most beloved players when I was growing up. Everyone loved him. Even though he threw like 4 interceptions a game along with 5 touchdowns, everyone was like, Brett Favre's amazing. And everyone had positive things to say about him. But then at the end of his career, he was like, nah, fuck that. I don't want to sit on the bench with this young buck from Cal starts over top of me. I'm going to stay here forever. And the Packers were finally like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And then everyone portrayed Brett Favre as the biggest asshole in the world for the next 4 seasons.
Oh, no, and I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying as long as it's skewed one way or the other, as long as people are talking about him, they're going to find a way to make money off of it.
See, I don't know. I don't agree. I mean, as far as a marketability standpoint, I can see it.
But that's it. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying, like, you want to go out and be, like, this hated guy for doing whatever. But I was like, as long as he is pissing people off, or as long as he's doing something...
Yeah, but Aaron Hernandez doesn't have shoe commercials. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, not all publicity is good publicity. Like,
no. But...
Well, RG3 won't have very many commercials if he gets put on the bench. That's all I can say, Josh.
That's true.
But that's not going to happen.
Oh, no. Well...
That's never going to happen. As long as Mike Shanahan's the head coach here, RG3's never going to go on the bench unless he's going to play.
No, it's not going to happen. Just not having the off-season workout with your team, I've learned that's a much more important thing than I used to think it was. Because there's, like, I've seen it, like, players come in, they don't go to, like, off-season training camps. They don't do good that season. Then the next season, they have off-season training camp and everything with the team, and they're 100% different, 100% better with that team.
Yeah, you could look at the NHL last year where they didn't have a training camp at all and see how bad a lot of good teams started.
Exactly.
All except for Chicago.
And quarterback is the most important piece that you want to be working with all those players. And then Adrian Peterson's completely different because running back, you can kind of just is a lot more instinctive. You hit the hole. That's what you do.
Yeah, it's like you go in the direction you're supposed to, and after that, it's kind of...
Coach says go this way. That's where your blocking is, and if that works out, good. If it doesn't, make up your own game plan.
Yeah.
Generally in the NFL, if you're a running back and your hole is not open in the direction you're going to, you don't have the time to make another move. Like, you have a quick read. A quarterback, you got to go through 4 options, usually at least, possibly a 5th or 6th option, depending on what's going on in the routes. And you got to try to process which one you're going to and try to read the coverage of the snap. Like you said, as a running back, it's like, okay, I'm supposed to cut through the 3 gap. It's not open. Let me try to go out here. But generally, if it's not open by that time, there's a reason. It's because the linebacker's bearing down on you, or Troy Polamalu jumped over the center and tackled you as soon as you got the ball. So, the biggest thing I'm trying to deal with right here is apparently Andrew lives a double life and has played in the NFL and knows how much a training camp means to him.
I didn't say it meant anything to me, guys.
You said what I know is that what I've noticed is that not having a training camp.
Well, I've seen a lot of players.
I think on that note, we're going to take a break. A segment that we are super excited about. We have our resident love expert, Andrew Payne, here, and we have people writing questions for our segment called Love Advice with Andrew. John wrote in, Andrew, I've been going out with this girl for a few weeks. I'm about to have her over at my place for the first time. The problem is that I have a bunch of blacklight posters throughout my room. Should I take them down or let her see me for how I am?
Well, John, I wish I knew how old you were, but blacklight posters aren't cool. You're going to need to take those down and grow the fuck up.
Well, as always, we hope that helps you, John, as Andrew gave you some astute love advice, and clearly does not work by the hour. So now, after love advice with Andrew, I guess we'll just check around. What have you guys been up to for the week, Andrew? Anything big developing happened to you during the week? Anything cool?
Not really. Just going to class. Turn the paper in. I got to make a website.
I wish you would get turned up during the week and we'd have some better talking from you. How about you, Josh?
Beat a couple of games. Beat Batman Arkham Origins. And other than that, just going to work and trying to rest up my back so I can get back to playing hockey.
Well, should we even talk about the Halloween party last weekend? Because that was the biggest thing that happened to all of us. And let's be honest, that's the biggest thing that happened to me in a couple of years. I did some fucked up things and I got really turned.
It was a pretty good time. More for me than you.
You were passed out in the chair for a while.
I had a great time until you guys let me run out of the house with my shirt off and no shoes.
Whoa. I wasn't there for that.
I didn't blame you. I was looking at him.
All I heard was you guys, and I was like, whoa.
Someone's got a guilty conscience. That's all I know. Didn't take us to Denny's. Maybe that guilt's finally getting to you.
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
That was the agreement, man.
Oh, Andrew's laying down in a chair. I can leave now and not take him to Denny's.
Oh, no.
No.
Never mind.
I can get up to go pee. I can get up to go to Denny's.
I never saw you get up to go pee.
That's because you had already left. Because you're a bad friend.
You asked me before you leave if I'm ready to go to Denny's.
I thought we had that understanding beforehand.
I'm just saying, you were like the drunk chick at a party. Like, you were laying in the chair, you were passed out, your girlfriend was stroking your hair.
Yeah, your girlfriend was kind of stroking your hair.
It's because she knows how to treat a man right. That's why I'm love advice guy. Alright?
He's got a point there. I can't argue with that.
Yeah, he did give that guy some sound advice to take down the blacklight posters and just grow the fuck up. He's totally gonna get laid off of that
Straight,
advice.
do the point.
I like how you gave him no other advice besides just take the blacklight posters down. Like, he even left you in a part to say, hey, should I let her see me for how I am? You could have gave some good advice. You were like, grow the fuck up, queer.
Honestly, I took that as a Andrew saying that he needs to totally change and not be who he is.
Yeah, basically, I'm saying I just wanted to make it known that he needs to take them down because that's not what mature people do, and she ain't gonna put out for some guy that's not mature.
What if he's like 17?
Well, then where the fuck's he got his own place? Like, did He should have been like, I'm sneaking this girl over while my parents are not home.
Maybe he's Will Smith's kid.
Tell me that. And then I'll be like, oh, she's some dumb high school bitch. Do what the fuck ever you want. Like,
yeah, Jesus Christ. It saddens me that he is our resident love advice expert, and that's the advice that he gives. Like, what am I doing wrong? I think I might just end it tonight. This might be the first and only podcast because I'm going to kill myself.
For the most part, you want to be yourself, but if being yourself means you like black light posters, then you want to change. That's basically what I'm trying to say here.
You know what? Clearly, we're not going to get anywhere in this conversation. We'll just leave it at that. What is... I'm laughing right now because Andrew is basically rocking back and forth in a chair that doesn't rock, tipping up his Coca-Cola can like he is toasting at a bar because of the things he's saying right now. He is so proud of himself. He looks like Aaron Rodgers after he won the Super Bowl and did the title. Discount double check.
That was one of the best moments of my life. With my team.
It's all downhill from
Won the
there.
fucking Super Bowl. Well, yeah, you can't really beat it until you win it again, and then you can feel that same kind of joy, but it doesn't ever get any better.
You completely overlooked the fact that he said the best part of your life was the Super Bowl and it was only going to go downhill from there.
I didn't overlook it, I just chose to ignore it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright guys, we got to take a break. We got to get this back under control here. We've completely lost control of the show. We'll be back. I think we got it. I think we're caught up now. We got our breath back. Taking a drink, smoke some crack. So now the topic I'm going to get into is I don't know if you guys saw the picture. I heard it on the radio the other morning. Apparently a chick at an ASU Halloween party, her costume was her being naked. And I don't know if you guys know anything about Arizona State, but basically they're a huge party school and they're known for having like the hottest chicks in the country. Like as far as the college goes, they're known as having the most hot chicks in one area than anyone else. Like that's what they do. So it brought to my mind the most ridiculous Halloween costumes that I've seen or that I've done myself. And I've never done anything that brazen as being naked. Because I mean, let's be honest, I was running around last week with my shirt off and no one went to see that, let alone what's downstairs. So thank God for that. But it does remind me that we were in the Halloween store a couple weeks ago. We saw that Ted costume. And I was talking about how it would be awkward to explain a big teddy bear costume hanging up in your closet and how you'd have to convince her that you're not a furry. But at the same time, if she's into it and you didn't know about it, that's a good way to get laid, right? I mean, you might have to ruin an $80 Halloween costume to cut a penis hole. I don't know how furry costumes work. I mean, I don't know the intricacies of it. Maybe one of you guys knows. I mean, I don't want to expose you on air, but I don't have the background.
I would just like to think of it as an investment. You got the costume, and then, you know, the possibility for being a furry is there in the future for when you need it.
Damn, 2 love advice segments with Andrew and one podcast. That is a first. Hopefully, this is a trend that keeps up because this guy is the advice that keeps getting you laid. That's the advice right there. So he should ditch the blacklight posters and get the Ted costume.
Yeah, that'd probably get him laid a lot faster.
So I'm basically getting the impression that you should change your personality and change what you look like, and you will get laid.
And become a furry.
Oh, yes.
It's like cover your face and change. You got it.
These are things I thought everybody already knew, but alright.
What about you, Andrew? What's the most ridiculous Halloween costume you've seen, or the best Halloween costume you've seen?
Oh, well, I'd have to go with my own. I'm going to paint this portrait for you guys. Lone Ranger costume, white cowboy hat, got the little black shirt thing going on. Didn't wear the face mask. That's kind of gay. Gets in my face. I don't like it.
The face mask gets in your face?
Yes, it gets in my face. I don't like it. Don't want to cover any of. Can't cover any of this moneymaker up. Gets the bitches. But and then what you gotta do make the outfit complete. You gotta buy a gold chain. You add the gold chain to the outfit. Don't wear the mask, and it's probably the best costume you'll ever see.
You look like a dickhead oil tycoon all of last weekend, and you were just running around Like, you look like if Bubba Sparks and Jerry Jones had a kid, you were that kid.
It was a good time. That's all I was having fun. I was pretty drunk, though. So...
Yeah, you were pretty drunk.
Yeah, the rap video on my phone shows that.
That was a pretty great rap video. We're going to have to put that up eventually, once he's up some music behind that.
Oh, I mean, we could just put it up. I mean, it's great. The best part about that video is, first off, our names that have been given to us as rappers.
Yeah.
Those are great names. But then, you're dancing. You're dancing during it. You look like an epileptic person doing the robot. Your hands are just flying around. You have no idea what you're doing.
I enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
And I loved how we had, like,
watching it.
we had two people right next to us. So as we're rapping, loud as hell, our debut song, Bitches on My Dick, which will drop eventually when you guys are ready for it. Bubba can't handle it. It's on the shelf. We got it recorded, though, you bitch-ass motherfuckers. We'll bring it to the airwaves eventually. But there's two people right beside us. We're yelling bitches on my dick. They don't even know. Andrew taps him on the shoulder and says, "Hey, man, we just rapped bitches on my dick." And he's like, "No, let me see." How about you, Josh? Most ridiculous, best costume you ever seen?
I don't know what the hell he was supposed to be, but that dude that had like the fat guy costume that had like the really. Like,
oh yeah, the really pointy nipples.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what the hell he was supposed to be, but that one was pretty fucking.
He was just a really fat redneck, I think.
Oh, is that what it was?
With pointy nipples. Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
It was a good costume.
Yeah.
I was really drunk and I was flicking the nipples as we were playing Flip Cup.
Did you like it?
I think he
liked it.
I think he liked it a little too much. I think that's...
There's your invite.
The word expectation.
Does anybody know who won the costume contest?
I don't think anybody
at
gave
that
a
party.
shit.
I was too drunk. I blacked out. After Josh left and I realized we were getting no Denny's, my brain just shut down. I blacked out until we were outside.
I voted for the toaster strudel guy. Heinz
Yeah.
Strudel.
Well, that's because he was bribing everybody.
Yeah, he gave me toaster strudels, and that's going to give you my vote. You can buy Andrew Payne's vote. That's basically
I don't know.
what I'm trying to say
how many
right
people
here.
like come with the product that they actually are. And you're like, hey man, you want to eat this?
Exactly.
That's dedication.
Way to taper out there, guys. Last time I tried to let you guys hold a segment by yourselves. There's a reason I'm here, and it's because I don't shut the fuck up. So, basically, guys, if you listen to this podcast, this is our first time doing this. We're getting better. Clearly, our chemistry is there. We're working on some things. Any input would be helpful, unless it's negative, then go fuck yourself.
Agreed.
That's right. I don't want to hear that weak-ass bullshit. You do a podcast. You come better. All right? No, but in all seriousness, any input, negative, positive, advice, or if anyone hears this, it'd be like, if someone actually does radio, did this and heard this, and had any advice for me, I'd be more than willing to make the effort to change. I'm sure Josh and Andrew, even though this is just a hobby of ours, we still want to be the best at what we do. That's the goal of anybody, and if your goal is not to be the best at what you do, then you should just stop whatever it is you're doing.
Because if you ain't first, you're last.
You're goddamn right, Ricky Bobby. So, just again, thanks for listening, guys. We'll get better. If you have any suggestions for things you want to write in about, for us to talk about, we can pretty much talk about anything except women's sports. They're not real sports. I can't watch the tennis because of the grunting, and let's be honest, the WNBA is a watered-down product. I'd rather watch, college basketball.
Anything else, really?
Yeah, basically anything else. I was trying to think of the worst thing, but I actually enjoy college basketball. Grass growing, I might watch it over WNBA, But, yeah, just not women's sports. Talk about anything else. And politics. Fuck that. Yeah. Everyone's corrupt. Especially you. If you're thinking about typing in and telling me to talk about politics, you're just as corrupt as they are. But, thanks again, guys. Let's just do a sign-off. Alright, guys. Thank you. Andrew, Josh.
Thank you.
Until next week, guys. Later.
Woo!